I consider raising, but because I have the king of diamonds, I decide just to call again. In the river, I make quads. That's interesting. Come on. What's up, poker players? We're going to a brand new episode of Poker Profit Vlog. Right now it's 2:18 of a Saturday afternoon. Hopefully we play good today and book another win, and let's get it. Hello.
Thank you.
What's up, man? I buy in for 500. After a while playing, I get this ace-7 suited from the button. Action gets to me. It's a straddle from the under the gun. I raise to 15. The straddler who just got to the table 3-bets me to 45. Ace-7 suited, 500 effective. I think it's okay to call here. If he raised bigger, like 55, I would probably fold, but 45 I'm gonna call. The flop comes 10, 7 deuce, rainbow. I hit my pair of 7s. He c-bets large here for 75. I'm ahead of all the combinations of ace king, ace queen, and ace jack that he has in his range. So I decide to call. The turn comes a good card. A deuce doesn't change nothing. And he goes all in for 180.
What's that?
How you doing, Mike?
What's up? How are you, man?
Watch that guy on your right.
I'm about to lose money here.
180 all
Can you start the pot, please? No, I know. And here I'm winning mostly for ace king, ace queen, and ace jack. There are 12 combinations of ace king, 12 combinations of ace queen. Ace jack, I don't think he will do that with all the ace jacks, so I'm gonna put only the suited ace jacks. So there are 12 combinations of ace king, 12 combinations of ace queen, and 3 combinations of suited ace jacks. In the other hand, the hands that I'm losing here are aces, kings, queens, and jacks. I don't think he would bet so large with 10s, and I think I can take 9s and 8s out of the equation. So there are 3 combinations of aces, because I have an ace in my hand, 6 combinations of kings, 6 combinations of queens, and 6 combinations of jacks. So I'm losing to 21 combinations, and I'm winning to 27 combinations. Looking at him, he seems really calm and relaxed. And many times this happens in live poker. The answer for all of your questions, such as this one, like, am I winning or am I losing, is right in front of me. The guy right in front of me has the answer. So many times, just look at the guy that you're playing with and try to extract some information from him. You're not gonna be right every time, but at least if you're right most of the times, it's already an advantage for you.
You the YouTuber from yesterday?
Yeah.
He's in a big, he's in a big hand right now.
I just met this guy in this hand. Now I would say we are friends, like we are playing every time together. Looks like he's following me sometimes, but he's a nice guy and I'm glad to see him too. Then he starts talking to me.
It's all good.
Oh my god. I'm scared. I'm scared to fold.
I'm not trying to embarrass you, I promise.
You're a nice guy.
I am.
Oh my god, look, stop talking please. I have the best 7. Oh, with this face? Yes.
That's what you're thinking?
Yes,
7?
exactly.
10, god damn.
Exactly. He seemed like a nice guy. I already played with him plenty of times and he was always correct at the table. So I think after what he says to me, I'm leaning more towards folding here. Oh my god, if you're bluffing.
You're a good guy too.
What?
You're a good guy too. No doubt.
Oh my god, man.
I'm genuinely not afraid of you guys.
Yes. And he shows jacks.
One time.
Thanks, man. Nice hand.
Good play.
I buy in for 100 more. This hand I see 7-8 from the big blind. Under the gun straddles to 5. A player calls from early position. The low jack raises to 20. Cutoff calls. Button folds. Small blind calls. I call the 20 from the big blind with 7-8. And then the big blind goes all in for $35, saying that he didn't look. The pre-flop raiser calls. Everybody calls as well. And I call for 15 more. The flop comes ace 10-9 with 2 clubs. I have open-ended. I check. The pre-flop raiser c-bets to 65. It falls to me. Here I have to call 65 for a pot that has 245. So that's around 20% of the pot. My odds of hitting the open-ended in the turn is around 16%, but out of those 16%, there's a chance one of those cards to be a club, and maybe he has a flush draw. So I would take at least one of those 8 outs for the possibility of him having a flush draw. So I would say I have 7 outs. So 7 outs is around 14% of chance of me hitting, but there are implied odds of when I hit for me to extract a lot from him in the next following streets. So that's not an obvious call for me here, but I think the best option here is calling, especially when there's another player all in that excludes the possibility of him to bluff a lot, because if he doesn't have a lot of showdown value, even though he bluffs me, he still has to win from the guy that is all in. So I decide to call. The turn comes a 3 of diamonds. I check and he checks back. The river comes another 3 of spades. We both check. I show the 8 high. He shows ace queen and takes the pot. I buy in for $60 more, then $100 more. So I have $760 invested, losing around $270 for now. Under the gun raises to 10. 3 players call before me, and then I see pocket kings. I'm going to 3-bet here for sure. The question is how much. Most of them have more than $400 effective. So I decide to 3-bet to 55 here. I could make a little larger, but I didn't want to lose too many players pre-flop. Under the gun and cutoff call. So 178 in the pot. Button folds. The flop comes a great one. 10-5-3 rainbow. I'm definitely c-betting here. I c-bet to 100, around 60% of the pot. They both fold and I take the pot. This hand I'm in the small blind. Under the gun +1 limps, $2. Then the guy in his left raised to $7, which is really small here. I don't recommend you to raise so small in live poker. He should definitely raise bigger here. And I see ace-7 suited from the small blind. I'm gonna call here. The game is really deep and I have a suited ace that I'm going for the nuts if I hit my flush. 5 players see the flop. It comes 5-4 deuce with 2 diamonds. I have a gut shot and a nut flush draw. I check. The pre-flop raiser c-bets to 15. He c-bets really small here. I can see that his sizing is really small, and I don't recommend you guys to have such a small sizing. Raising pre-flop and raising post-flop. The guy in his left calls, and here I'm gonna check raise. I believe I'm playing for the 3, the diamond, and maybe for the ace. So I have many outs to hit in the turn or river. And when I hit it, many times I will be nuts or with a hand that is close to the nuts. So I think it's a good spot for me to check raise here. I check raise to 65. He calls the 65. The other player folds. River comes a jack of spades. That's not the best card for me because now there are 2 flush draws. But I'm gonna keep raising. His effective stack is 350, so I think if I raise to 100, 110, I'm gonna put a lot of pressure on him, telling a story that I'm gonna shove in the river, which I'm probably not if I don't hit my card. So I bet 100, hoping for him to fold. And he finally does that after a while, and I take down the pot. This hand I get kings again. The under the gun limps. Under the gun +1 raises to 5. I'm gonna 3-bet here for 21 in position. The cutoff calls. The under the gun calls as well. And the under the gun +1 calls too. So 5 players see the flop. So there is more than $100 in the pot. The first card in the flop, you already see. What is it? The flop comes King A3 rainbow. This is just the safest flop I could ask for. The small blind leads out to 30. And here, because I'm blocking 2 kings, I don't think he has a great hand. So I decide just to call here and let him keep betting. The turn comes a 9 of hearts. He keeps betting 55. And because of his last sizings, which were really small, here I think he is strong right now. Even though I have 2 kings, I think because of his action, I don't think he would call the 21 from the small blind. And I don't think he would lead out flop and turn without having a good hand. So now I'm going to raise. I decide to raise to 155. His effective stack is more than 500. So I raise to 155. He calls after little less than 10 seconds. The river comes a deuce of hearts. Flush draw gets there, but I'm not too concerned about this. He checks. Here I'm definitely gonna bet. The pot has $455. I decide to bet 250, little more than half of the pot. He calls, I show the kings, and it's good. He mucks his hand, so I don't know what he had. Winning a little more than 400 here. And I see this king-queen offsuit from the button. Same player from last hand raises to 15 after the under the gun limps. Now he raised a little higher than last time in the same position. I call the 15 position. Everybody else folds. Two players see the flop. The flop is a good one. Queen Jack 4 with 2 diamonds. He c-bets to 15, again with a small sizing. I really think you guys shouldn't do that. You guys should raise higher. Sometimes it's good to bet 15, like to bet less than 50% of the pot. But in live poker, I'm not a big fan of that. Like I usually do when I have a lot of value, but I rarely c-bet less than 50% of the pot in live game. And I think you guys should absorb that to your game. I just call the 15. The turn comes another queen, and it's a queen of diamonds, so I'm just feeling even safer because I have the king of diamonds. And he bets 20. Again, he's betting really small. I consider raising, but because I have the king of diamonds, I decide just to call again. In the river, I make quads. That's interesting. Now he separates more chips than usual and bets 75. Here, I think he's strong. He might have the jack, but I feel like he would play the same way with aces and kings. And if he really has aces, which is the hand that I'm hoping him to have, because I have a king of diamonds, so there are less combinations of kings than are combinations of aces. And I don't think he would be capable of folding aces here. And as you guys can see, his effective stack is more than $500. The pot has 178, and I'm considering jamming here. I don't want to get too greedy, but I really think he wouldn't be capable of folding the ace. And maybe he could think that I'm going to shove with jacks here, thinking we're tying, which I would never do. So I decide to shove all in. I'm all in.
All in.
My image is already of an aggressive guy in the table. I already won some hands from him without showdown. So I think it's a good time. Try to extract maximum value with an overbet. And let's see what he does. He calls, I show the quads, he mucks his hand again, and I take down one of the biggest pots of the night.
Unless he had the jacks.
I think he had aces or kings.
Maybe.
I had Jack 4, I'm glad I didn't stay in.
I have an almost $1,800 stack here. You can see the guy on the other side of the table taking a picture of me. I'm feeling a little sorry for the guy that I just won the pot. I know it hurts a lot to lose close to $1,000 in less than an hour. He's a good player with some flaws in his sizings, but I really think he's probably profitable in this game, and I hope the best for him. This hand, I'm in the button. Below jack raises to 20, cutoff calls, and I see aces. Great spot for me. Of course I'm gonna 3-bet, especially with my image at the table. I 3-bet small here in position to 65.
I'm gonna call just because
Somebody call?
I don't really know why I'm calling, but I think that I can win.
I'm sure you can. The flop comes king 10-3 with 2 hearts. Everybody checks to me. I'm gonna c-bet here. I c-bet to $90, around 50% of the pot. The low jack folds, cutoff calls. He has 300 more effective. The turn comes a deuce of hearts. I have the ace of hearts. So I decide to check back here and control the pot and maybe let him bluff in the river. And also if it comes another heart, I'm nuts here. So I think it's a better option to just check. The river comes a queen of clubs. He checks again. And here I put him all in of $300. If he doesn't snap call, I hope he calls. But he folds and I take down the pot. Winning a little more than $1,000. Hijack raises to 5. The guy in my right re-raised to 25. And I see Ace King offsuit from the button.
Oh, okay.
You're so excited, sir. You're moving out of action. You're going to influence this player right here.
I decide to 3-bet to 75. I believe I'm just crushing the range from the guy in my right because he's pretty loose. As you can see, he has a lot of chips. Surprisingly, the small blind calls, which is weird. He has a lot of chips too. 3 players see the flop, 230 in the pot. The flop comes Ace, Jack, 8 with 2 clubs. That's a good flop for me. And the cutoff leads out for $30. If I don't have the king of clubs, I'm gonna probably raise. But because I do, I decide to just call here in position. The turn comes a queen of hearts, not a great card. Ace queen gets there, and he makes it 100. But because of how loose this player is, I'm not folding for him. I'm gonna control the pot and just call his bet. The river comes a 5 of diamonds. It changes nothing. He makes it 200. Can you spread the pot, please? I'm losing for many combos of hands that he raises 25 and keeps betting flop, turn, and river. But we're talking about 200 for a pot that has 685. He's a loose guy. For our normal player, I would fold here. I'm losing to Ace Queen, Ace Jack, Jacks, maybe Queens. So I'm losing for many things. But because he's so loose and because of the way he was playing, I just decided to call and see his showdown. You deserve it, man. You deserve it.
Call.
The best is... He shows a set of 8s in the flop and he takes the pot. Winning little less than 700 now. Unfortunately, after that hand he goes away and he was the star at the table. So 4 hours and 27 minutes. I decide to stack my chips and go home. Pretty good session. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. The mission of this channel is helping you become a better poker player. Let me know in the comment sections your opinions about the hands and see you next time.